folks. You're with Tacitus today. Tacitus today, your pushback challenge. Thank you for joining us audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about how daughters, and it's especially daughters, are encouraged and aided and abetted and assisted by the Western polities and the Western state to keep on pursuing fathers, even though the father has divorced the mother, 10 or 15 years ago or longer in some cases, to keep on pursuing the father for money, to freeload off the father for well into their mid-20s for some bullshit college degree. And there have been a number of cases that I'm aware of, guys I've worked with and so on, colleagues and the like. And another one came up recently, and it kind of follows the script really of the other ones before it, but it bears, I think, a revisiting of this paradigm. So it goes something like this: the parents divorce, and the daughter's in just starting first year high school, around that age. They're not on good terms, the parents. So the mother willfully blocks access by the father, and it can get pretty difficult if you're trying to see your kids, and for guys in that position, trying to see your kids, and the mother or your ex-wife's actively blocking and running disruption. You've got huge legal fees to drag her into court. She can accuse you of all sorts of things. Oh, he raped me, he beat me, he this, he's that, he's dangerous, and all the people in that area of family law, as they call it, divorce law, family law, they're nearly all leftist activists and lesbians and men haters and so on. So only if the evidence is 1,000,000% in the man's favour will they decide in his favour. Otherwise, it's they use all sorts of Marxist ideological tricks to support the woman who's frustrating or preventing the contact with the kids. So anyway, so he loses contact with the kids. He hardly sees them. The daughter then, in the meanwhile, she's not a good student, but she gets waved through on affirmative action into senior high school. Decides she wants to do a university course. And then starts it, but decides she doesn't want to pay for it. The course is so onerous, it's like gender studies or some equivalent. The course is so onerous that she can't work, and it's too stressful for her to work. Not a problem. And there's a special legal unit inside the college that says, what about your biological father? I haven't seen him for 10 years. Who cares? What's his name? Billy Bob Smith. We can look him up. Now, this is a guy. He doesn't make big bucks, but he's probably getting paid double the average wage. But he's never been out of work. He's never been out of work for a day. He's just one of these very, very sort of diligent, applies himself, conscientious guys. No great genius, but he works hard, and again, he's your solid, upstanding guy. There was a time when that would be a badge of honor. Here's a man who works hard. He's never been out of work. He's, never has a sick day. These sorts of things. He's really committed. Pillar of society. But that's viewed differently now. The mere fact he's straight, he's white, and he's an above-average achiever, that doesn't make him a pillar of society anymore. That makes him a fucking damn fucking fascist, fucking Nazi. He's maybe even Hitler personally. So he's viewed quite differently than would once have been the case. So when the daughter comes along and that's my father. Look at his. He's got a solid income earning record. He's a walking wallet. He is a walking wallet, and we can take whatever we want from him. And if he dares defy us, we'll just drag him into the activist divorce court, the family court. And he'll have to pay his legal fees and yours, and you get free legal aid. For you, there is no risk, Billie Jean. There's no risk at all. We will pay for everything, and we will help you financially destroy him and make his life a misery. The taxpayer will assist you. So wow, okay, you mean he has to pay for all my, well, maybe not all of it, but certainly a lot of it, Billie Jean. and there's no risk to me, and it doesn't cost me any, won't cost you a penny. Ah, fuck, that sounds good to me. I don't want to be carrying the student debt. Now, she drops out of college in the first year. They've already hit him up for I don't know, like 15 or 20,000 bucks or something. They've already hit him up for that. And remember, this is coming out of the blue. He doesn't even know, but so it just comes out of the blue, and suddenly he's got to find $15,000-$20,000. I mean, what about his debts? What about his lifestyle? What about his mortgage payments or rent payments or whatever? Isn't that an issue? Nah, don't care about it. Now, as he explains it, he went to them with that. Said, "Hey, hold on a minute. This is like, I can't plan for these sudden hits," and so he has to submit to these some lesbian man-hating bureaucrat, and he has to say, "Well, here are my expenses. How much money from my income will you, the bureaucrat, the man-hating bureaucrat, how much money am I allowed to keep? How much money will you allow me to keep?" That's the state of things. I mean, that's insane, but there it is. Now, he coughs the cash. Daughter drops out. She still owes some money. They even tried to shake him down to pay the balance of her debt, given that she dropped out. He decided he would fight that, and so they did back off in the end. But a lot of threatening letters, we'll destroy you, we'll ruin you, you better pay up or else, that type of thing. The daughter then goofs off, gets a job in retail, moves in with some boyfriend or something like that. That falls to pieces, and then she decides at the age of 24 that she's going to, she does want to go to university. She's going to have another go at it. So this time she comes to the dad and says, "Look, I want to do a course." Bearing in mind how the family court creamed him last time, he said, "Well, I better give you something." So he says, "Okay, well, if you studied a proper course, not some gender studies bullshit. If you study a proper course like accounting or something like that, then I'll pay for it, or pay part of it." But she's no. You don't get to decide what the fuck I study. I'll study whatever the fuck I want, and you will have to pay for it. So he says no, he won't do it. And before you can say the sky's blue, he's getting dragged back into court. Again, all free, all supplied to attack him. Now, as he explains it, the bureaucrats will say, "Well, you can afford it. You can afford it. You've got an above average income. You've never been out of work. You can afford it. You can pay. And apart from anything, we will make you pay. And don't think of quitting your job to avoid paying, because we'll just put it as a debt against your tax file number, and you'll be in debt for all time. So suck on that, motherfucker." So again, it's another shakedown. So here's this girl who wants to do a 3-year course. So he's got to pay until she's 27 years old now. Why doesn't she have to pay? Why doesn't she get? So her bad, fucked up life choices that she's been, well, firstly, she's been given an affirmative action pass into university, which in reality she couldn't get. She's not a good student. I've met her. She's pretty stupid. So she couldn't get into university on any sort of merit. She's only there on affirmative action. Therefore, the only courses she can study are bullshit courses where nobody fails. And then they forced the father, divorced from, fucking 15 years ago, they forced him to pay for it, pay for her bad choices. The cost, she can just transfer the cost onto him, and she can make bad choice after bad choice after bad choice, and someone else has to pay. Now, let's suppose that the divorce hadn't taken place and it was still an intact family unit, then his influence on a relative, he would just say, "No, I'm not paying for that. If you want to study this, you can, I'll help you out with that, but I'm not helping you out. I'm not paying for some bullshit course." But because the divorce is there and it's not an intact family, it's fragmented, then the government has exceptional powers of intrusion, which they use to the max. Now, she is a I don't think she's a lesbian. Her is well, she's not. She lived with a boyfriend for a while. she doesn't have to accept any responsibility for her decisions, none. And that makes this absurd imbalance. He is fully accountable and responsible. She is zero accountable and responsible. And this is how it plays out. But these sort of things are quite common. But they're not looking at it on the basis of any sort of merit. They're evaluating this guy, above average income, never been out of work, walking wallet, we can take from you what you want. Now, if the guy had been, a casual labourer who didn't own anything, had no real income, he owned nothing, or that type of thing, then they wouldn't have bothered. They looked in for there's a juicy piece of meat we can get our hooks into, and that was really the determination. She's a female, and so she's a minority. He's a straight white male. So the whole thing is ideological. There's no merit judgment at all on this, and make no mistake. This would be criminal under any other circumstances, and it's nothing more than a fucking shakedown.